Hello.
Well, hello. How are ya?
I'm awesome.
Fan freaking tastic.
How you doing?
Fan freaking tastic. Just over here. It's been a good week. Had a very chill, weekend or whatever.
Mine was the opposite. It's been busy.
I mean, it's been chill, but my mind been busy and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I've
Okay.
even not really chill because I went to like three supermarkets yesterday. Went to Sprouts, went to DeKalb Farmers Market, went to Aldi, or whatever. Because it's like
Mm-hmm.
each of those places always has something that I want to get. They all
Yeah.
got diversity and stuff. I like to, get like milk and dairy and like meat from like Sprouts and stuff because you know how like I feel that they're not trying to, kill the, European Americans. So, they tend to give them better quality stuff over there. So that's why I kind of like to go over there.
You're
And
the first person to say that. Everybody thinks they go to um a non black neighborhood and
non-urban
go
area.
non-urban area and go get some food
Yeah,
because they make their food better, keep their food
yeah.
healthy,
It's the
better
truth.
ingredients and stuff.
It's the truth because I
Yeah.
remember a long, like, couple years ago, I went to freaking Whole Foods and they had the organic Granny Smith apples for like 99 cents and they were way smaller. But when you're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
over in the urban area, the apples are bigger. So you figure the bigger they are, the more they're going to weigh. So you're going to end
Mm-hmm.
up, reaching that pound, that 99 cents a pound,
Get
quicker.
charged more.
So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going by what I witnessed. I'm not,
Okay.
is this is not anything I'm speculating. This is something that I see with my own eyes and stuff. So,
Yeah, I hear you.
everybody just
It's
trying to
understood.
get money from everywhere. I know my lawn guy texted me today to talk about does does he want me to add me into the rotation? Oh, and there's a $5 increase. So I was doing a calculation. I went ahead and just bought a a lawnmower. Like, nah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
so
cool.
I had him on a once a month schedule anyway, but he used to try to come like twice a month and stuff, like forgetting, but you don't forget a bunch of times. So
Mm-hmm.
so I don't even want to go through that, this time around. And plus he be cutting like the neighbor's yard too. I was like, I'm not paying to cut, a lot of the neighbor's yard. So at least now I could get my 10,000. This will help me get my 10,000 steps to get in daily.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'll definitely get the
Upper
nice
body
fresh
strength.
air outside. And the great thing is one of those lawnmowers that have like the bag in the back where it collects everything. So all I gotta do is just dump it
Dump it.
after that.
Yeah, yeah.
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 So so it is all good. So yeah.
I'm just happy I'm sitting in my house.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. Like I don't know. It's like when I think about like just chilling in the house and stuff. I like can't believe when honestly no. Ever since I had my own place and stuff, I never like really cared to go out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess because maybe I got that out of my system early, and then when I was
Yeah.
old enough to go out and stuff, when I seen it was just the same bullshit, I'm like, whatever. Same thing I seen
Yeah.
when I was younger, when I wasn't of age to get into a spot. It's the same thing now that I am of age. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
plus it's safer that way. It's nothing like having peace, being peaceful in your house.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I literally spent I stayed at a hotel in the past week in Brooklyn, and all I heard was people coming in and out of their hotel rooms, the water dripping in the bathroom, just
Oh,
different noises, and had to put earplugs in just to have a good night's rest, and the bed was uncomfortable. Brought my own
ah,
pillow. Ugh. it was a difficult. Like, you had fun. I had fun. I did a lot of walking, but my body was like, we don't do this shit no more. Like, why are we doing this? I'm like, I
Like,
don't
well,
care if you work out and stuff. Like, I'm tired and I don't want to do this no more. We work out to exercise, not to get from one place to another like this.
yeah, well,
Crazy.
if you do that, then you could be like the French people eating bread and butter all day and stuff and not gaining anything. So,
Yeah, I guess. It was a
yeah.
lot.
Did you go to Cuts and Slices Pizza?
No, I went. We did a lot of Korean restaurants. That was
Oh,
what my two daughters wanted to do. They wanted to go to Korean restaurants.
ah. Well,
Yeah.
well, at
So
least
we
y'all
went to
get kimchi at least.
kimchi.
Yeah,
No,
kimchi.
I
That's
had
like the
kimchi before. It's very delicious, very spicy. But no, we did noodles. That's what's popular
mm,
among the young ones. Noodles and wontons.
noodles.
Yeah, noodles and wontons.
Oh yeah.
I ate shrimp.
Yeah.
I
Oh
ate
my
one
goodness.
shrimp. I well, not it was like three shrimps inside a wonton, and I bit into it, and I panicked, but I swallowed it, and I got it done. But I refused to eat any more of it. I did
Oh
what I had to
man.
do. No,
Your
it wasn't
thyroid is.
working. It did exactly what my tongue said it didn't like. It was like
Aw,
eating
your
bubble wrap.
thyroid will love you for it, for that
You sure?
iodine.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was an experience that I probably won't duplicate. That's all.
I
Yeah.
understand. But man,
Hmm.
so before we get into today's topic, Azima, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima, Azima, the only. And you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Jovani?
So yeah, you can find me across all my platforms on TikTok, Facebook, IG, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And also, people, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Wine Fine Podcast, and where you could catch older episodes. We
Yeah.
are here at episode 19.
We
I love
made it. We made it.
we,
I know.
we get
Every day I'm
we
like,
get
huh?
there. So
Yeah.
today's topic: who is the problem if you've been married and divorced 3 times?
3 times.
Before we
Stress.
play the video, I always, when you look at the video, of course, there's a woman on there. She's explaining why, she's she's explaining whatever her reasoning is and stuff. But I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
remember when I was like 24, and I came across this man. He didn't look, because us melanated people, we may be older than what we look like we are and everything. So
Yeah.
when he was all like, I want to go out to breakfast, da 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 da, and I'm gonna let you know I've been divorced 2 times. In my head, when I heard that you've been divorced 2 times, I'm like, what the heck is going on with you that you've been divorced already? And he didn't look over, like, let's just say 45 and stuff.
He's,
So, or maybe even 40. And just in
mm-hmm.
my head, I was just like, why, why are you divorced the second time? It's sort of like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and you know what, I feel a lot of people nowadays, they have like that Elizabeth Taylor and J-Lo complex, that maybe they
He
just,
said J Lo.
yeah, maybe they just obsessed with getting married. Maybe they just like the idea of, the whole wedding thing and getting married or whatever. I don't know, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just weird. It's just weird. But let's go ahead and this video here and kind of get some feedback on this lady, and her little monologue here about
Okay.
her getting married and divorced. Not one,
Okay.
not two, but 3 times.
Mm.
And divorced 3 times. And here are 3 reasons why I chose divorce.
over sticking it out for the kids. Number one, if I have to be a married single mother, I'd rather just be a single mother. It's much easier that way. Yeah, it's hard work, and sometimes you don't understand where your next meal is coming from, or you got to figure out how you're going to pay the bills. But the emotional toll that knowing that you have to do everything by yourself when there's somebody perfectly capable with you right there is just something. It's like a weight around your neck. Number two, I'd rather be happy on my own than miserable trying to make it work. I don't see longevity of being in a relationship that is not serving you as a success like some people do. I just don't. Our grandparents were married for 50 years. My parents were married for 30 years, and they had successful marriages because they had love between one another, and they really took care of one another. But I don't believe in just being miserable just so I can say I've been married 30, 40, 50 years. And lastly, parenting with a broken heart is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life. As a mother that spends a lot of time with her kids, parenting with a broken heart was just, it wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for them. It wasn't allowing me to invest my full attention on my kids because I was always feeling like I was lacking because I was hurt so many times.
So before we unpack this, let's grab this comment real quick.
Okay.
Seemed like the rain would never stop. On this Sunday
Mm-hmm.
evening, Miss Goins, Miss Azima, it's definitely good to hear your voices again. It's been a little minute. WINEFINE Podcast. Who is the problem if you've been married and divorced 3 times? Interesting. I absolutely love this topic because a lot of people have made choices. A lot of people have realized the negative side effects of certain choices. The choices at hand. Should we be judged by them? Great topic. Now, to true honesty of life. First of all, it is never going to be like it used to be. Technology is in the way. Too much technology in the way. People are not having imaginations no more.
Nope.
People do not have to count on getting to know someone. Second, it really all depends. Example. I talked to a woman, and she's honest with herself, and she cheated on her husbands all 3 times.
Oh my.
She's the problem. She don't know how to be committed. Does that mean I'm going to say, well, I will be the 4th? No. But what I will do is say, let's take a little bit of extra time being engaged.
See, that's if you got honesty. She was honest, so you were able to say, "No, I don't think I'm going to be the 4th one."
Yeah, plus a lot of people won't be honest on where they fucked up in the relationship. They always say what the other
Some people
person
don't
did.
know. Some people don't know
Yeah,
that they were
because
the
you'll
fuck
have
up.
because there's a lot of people that don't take responsibility for their actions and stuff. They'll freaking dance around something like they'll keep saying the same thing over and over again. And like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'm putting out these facts in front of you. You're not taking responsibility for your wrongdoing, and they keep talking circles like they on drugs or something. So
Mm-hmm.
that was
Yeah, I
great.
mean that was one of the reasons why they say people keep on getting remarried is because they don't acknowledge that they're repeating past problems. So they're not really looking
Mhm.
internally at what they're doing. It's more like they're just looking at like I got divorced because she wanted a divorce or he wanted a divorce. They're not really looking at what they did to cause the divorce. They're not being introspective. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of people don't do that. And I think
They don't
that
do
that
it
has
on
a
a
lot to do
regular.
with technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is Devontae Cannon.
How y'all doing?
Hi,
Honestly,
Good.
Devontae.
I feel like you the problem if you've been married 3 times. Because, I mean, some shit you gotta work through. It might take a couple years. And I feel like you can't be married if you're gonna be a quitter.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm going to tell you my personal story. My husband
Yeah.
was married before. Now, he got divorced because his wife at the time requested for child support during their marriage. Yes, there they were still married.
Oh Lord.
They were still married, and she requested for child support because he had told her that she needs to get a job. She was originally not working, and he was supporting the household. But during the time, like government jobs, what they do is they'll cut back. They'll take money from your check. I think, what is it called? They hold money from your check, right? Because the government is going through some tough times, right? And they'll pay you back later when you retire. Anyways, so New York State was going through something, and they were holding money from the checks. So he asked her to get a job to support the family. She didn't want to, so she went to family court to file for child support. And it really, the whole process of the child support went, I mean, like, the family court went really bad. She accused him
Of
of
course.
abuse, took the kids away from him, and everything. He still didn't divorce her. Then, when everything was done and everything was figured out, and they realized that she was the problem, and they took the kids from her and gave him the kids, and she started paying child support. She came up to him and asked him if they can work out their marriage, and he said, no,
What
I
a
want a divorce.
what
So
a dunce.
yeah, so basically that's the reason why he was divorced the first time. So when he explained that to me, and his own kids, because his own kids are like maybe a couple of years younger than me, they're like, maybe the oldest one is 38. I'm 40. So the oldest one is 38. And he told her, they all talked about their mother and what she did. So it's
Hmm.
all facts. But basically, you know, it took him a long time to want to get married again. I think it took him like about maybe 10, 15 years to get married again. So when he met me, you know, I guess he gave it a chance. But, you know, you gotta figure out what the problem is before you just go jump back in. I don't think people are giving it any breath. They're not giving it any air
Yeah.
before they do it again.
Yeah, people be jumping into it like it's dating. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, and I will say, there's a lot of men that get the short end of the stick, so
Hmm.
with all of that, I'm glad they eventually realized that she was the issue.
Yeah.
So,
I literally think
but
she didn't work a job just so she don't pay child support either. So people do the same thing. It doesn't matter
but how the
what
hell was
sex
she
they are.
supporting herself? She was staying with family or something?
I believe so.
That's fucking whack. I can't. I'm sorry, nah. Fuck that shit.
Hmm.
Oh, let's grab these comments.
Now, there are times in our life where we are in divorce because of just the simple feeling of we don't agree. And the disagreements has started to bleed off into our actions.
Hmm.
Am I going to look at someone a different way? No. Because, see, the thing about us sometimes, when we in a relationship, we look at the glamour, but we don't think about, and this is one thing I do personally, that's why I'm probably still single, it's fine. But I look at and think about, how are you going to be when you are upset? What is your personality
Hmm.
like? If you don't get your way, what is your personality like? When life trips you up, how do you respond? When it seems like you made a way, but at the last minute it did not work out, how is your response?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, they got married to somebody and they're thinking, oh, okay, this person is so cool, calm, and collected. And then when shit hits the fan, they turn into a whole fucking other beast. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like they literally running around like their head is on fire. And you're like, no, let's talk about it. They can't talk about it. They're just like stressed out and screaming and talking about finances, money, 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 and they're not trying to figure out how to solve the problem. They're just stuck on the problem.
I think
So,
a lot of people they're I mean, me, I never been married. Just from the
mhm,
outside looking in, right?
mhm,
A lot of people just think, "Oh, you're just going to get married and it's just going to work out." No, there's
no,
things going to have to work out during that marriage. I
mhm,
mean, I looked at growing up, seeing people's marriages, and just be like, wow, that's very fucked up perceptions. I'll just say the least.
mhm.
So you know, but man, let's grab all these comments so that we could get into them statistics that we were
And
talking
so
about.
when we look at being married, am I going to be the fourth one? No. Matter of fact, do I even think that you're going to want to marry again? Hell no.
No,
I don't
you
believe so.
shouldn't.
Because what are you marrying for? The trust of love? You lost that.
3 times.
Your trust was gone out the door probably a marriage ago. That's why maybe the third one didn't work out. See, we go through so many experiences and it makes us who we are. We're
Mhm.
not proud of it, but we have to stay protected. Other people don't know our struggle. They say they do, but they really was not a mile in our shoes. They sit at the fire while they hear our stories, but they was not there in our minds. At the end of the day, everyone
Exactly.
loves to listen to our struggles and our stories. But when it comes to the fact of us being different because of it, it is something they cannot handle.
Yeah. Dealing with the pain of whatever the experience was that was in the marriage that broke it apart, whether it's rejection, maybe the person didn't want to have sex anymore, or the experience of being cheated on and you don't have trust anymore, or just simple disagreements, like you just realize, like, I don't know this person. That is trauma that one has to deal with, and everybody deals with it differently. So one person, like, well, I can get over this, while the other person is like, every time they close their eyes, they see they see that problem, you know?
You know
So
what I
you
you know
never
what I
know.
didn't appreciate about her little monologue.
What?
I didn't appreciate the fact that, when you mention the kids, like, why are you bringing your children through every freaking, like, if anything, I would hope that somebody with children would hold off on getting married, like if you have children, like, deal with whatever emotions you're dealing with, allow your children to deal with their emotions that they're dealing with, but you just, and the lady doesn't look old, right? She look,
Mm,
judging by the video, she doesn't look no more than, I'm just gonna
well, late
say,
30s.
40. Yeah, late
Mm-hmm.
30s, early 40s. She don't look more than that. So when I'm like doing the math, I'm like, okay, you've been married 3 times. Like, how long you been married? Like, how many kids have came from each? Is all your kids just from the first marriage, the second marriage, the third marriage? Like, come on,
Well,
like,
she didn't go into too much detail. I
but
know that.
that's where my mind goes,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Because I know a lot of people. One person in specific, I have an acquaintance that got married at a very young age. She down south, she got married as a teenager to an older man, against her will.
Aw,
So, and she got out of that marriage, and then she got married again, and then just chose wrong, and person ended up being a drug addict. And so, you
God.
know,
Not a
it's
drug addict. That's the
not not
word.
everybody, not everybody uh is married multiple times because they probably wanted to be married. A lot of these things could be shotgun or tradition or culture, you know, religious. So
That is
the
true.
problem couldn't have just been because they didn't want to be in that relationship in the first place, right?
Yeah, that's true. That
Yeah,
is very
there's a
true.
lot of scary stories.
I can imagine. That's why I'm like, I mean, I'm kind of like, Like, yeah, I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
know for me, I don't get into. There'll be people be like, "Oh, Giovanni, you ain't married yet." Like, no, I'm kind of good on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not trying to, be having, going through all the motions and everything. I gotta, I'm trying to be with one person and that's it. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
looking to, be like, oh, I've been married or divorced 2 or 3 times. That's nah, that's just not the move. Let's grab this
And to
couch.
be honest, as a
Yeah.
married person, it's not like I said, "Ooh, I want to be with this person for the rest of my life." I actually like the person, and I can't imagine my life without them.
Oh,
So it's more like a natural occurring thought, to be with that person forever. So if you're not really thinking that way, maybe you shouldn't be getting married in the first place.
yeah. You should never
You
want to
know.
get married just to get out the game or just to have not feel like bad because you're having premarital sex.
Mm-hmm.
But let's grab these comments.
So everyone has experienced something in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you give opportunity, you have a heart. You are forgiving, you're
Mm-hmm.
loving, agape love, empath. You do your homework. People know how to hide.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I try to tell others. People know how to hide so much and so well. It is shit that you will not know about a person until a certain time. Does it mean you're a fool? You're stupid? No. You was given your life an opportunity of chance. Why should you be punished? Why should someone throw a stone at you when they have a glass house? But
Mm-hmm.
being ready to say I do again, let's just have fun. How Stella got a groove back. Part two.
Yeah, that is true. People do be, hiding stuff. How sometimes you be asking people questions and they don't really want to give you the answers and, you know,
Be going roundabout ways of answering it.
like I remember
Half
this.
truths.
So I'll say this. So long time ago, early 20s or whatever, dealing with somebody, and I wish I would have like asked more questions. I don't know why I shouldn't even let this fly, but this was definitely my bad, and I take full responsibility for this. So I was like
Mm-hmm.
20 and guy in his 40s or whatever. I asked him. I was like, "So, you married? Because I knew he had daughters and stuff." And then all he said was like, "Oh, do I have a ring on my finger?" So, of course, the answer to the question, no, he didn't have a ring on his finger. Okay, do y'all live together? And I just let him fly with, "Oh, she has her house, I have my house," not knowing that they live in the same fucking house. So, but that's just some of the things that people do, things people say just
Mm-hmm.
out of fear of not being able to deal with somebody. They rather not be truthful with them instead of letting that person make the decision. So now I'm off my
Some people
soapbox.
are just fucking assholes.
Oh
That guy
yeah.
sound like an asshole. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. And he knew he was manipulating the situation. Did I say that right? Manipulating the situation. That's all.
Yeah.
So once
Yeah,
you
that's
found
right.
out the truth, you know how to make your decision from there. But yeah, he
Yeah.
was just an asshole. He knew
Yeah.
exactly what he was doing.
Truly.
Truly, truly.
I think that a lot of people, when they get married, they think that who they married on the wedding day is who that person is going to be forever. And honestly, that's not true. You grow, you get older, you change. So the things that you were interested in or liked, might change. So your partner has to change with you, just like you're going to change. So if you're not going to be a chameleon, I don't think that's something you should do, because honestly, the person you marry probably ain't gonna be the person you die with at the end.
Yeah.
That's right. And
Yeah.
I have this conversation with my husband all the time because we've both changed throughout the years. We've been married. This will be our 15th year married, and
Wow.
basically
15
the things
years.
we did and what we do now is completely different. Our health has changed, our bodies have changed. There are things that we can't even do anymore, even if we wanted to, because we're older people now. And if you're not willing to accept the change, then you shouldn't be married. It's like, let's say a man marries a woman. She has his kids throughout the years. She is now not 125 pounds. Her hips are not a size 23. She is now wearing a size 12 mom jeans. She's tired. You know what I mean? And you're expecting her to look wherever the fuck way you want her to look. You ain't
A
gonna get
size
that.
6.
If you are unwilling to witness and appreciate the change, knowing that change will happen because it is inevitable, then you shouldn't be married. You should not want to marry. You should not say, I want such and such amount of kids with this woman, because those kids will change her. It will turn her into a whole different person. Whether the good or the bad is going to change her. And hopefully, you can see how she, watch her change and say, okay, I appreciate this change. You know what I mean? But changes happen. My husband, he has a gut now, and I'm okay with it. And it's cuffing season, and I need a thick boy, and I got one. So I'm appreciative of it. And that's it. He's never ever cold. So, but you
So
gotta
he's
appreciate
evolved.
the changes.
He has evolved into your huggy bear. Yes.
Yes, basically. Very warm man. If I'm cold, all I gotta do is get under his armpit if it smells good, and just snuggle there, and appreciate it. And that's basically it. That's all I do is snuggle under whatever part of him, is warm. And then, and
Hilarious.
he, you know what? He puts his hand like, okay, so I exercise and everything like that, but I don't have a perfectly flat stomach. And he'll like squeeze my fupa. Like he's looking for it. Like maybe, I don't know if it's like a comfort thing for him, but he's looking for my fupa for some freaking reason. Like, who grabs somebody's belly like that? But that's what he does. And yeah, I'm like, why are you being weird? It's like, oh, I just wanted to squeeze it a little, you know? So if I get rid of my fupa, where's he gonna go? I don't need him squeezing on my ass all the time, that's for sure.
Well, that's you know
Not in
that,
public. We got a
that's funny.
comment.
Yeah.
And on top of that, a lot of people get divorced over the dumbest things:
Yes.
stubbornness.
Ego.
Sometimes people get divorced because others have outgrown their partner.
Mm-hmm.
Life is about growing, it's about achieving. So if you've been divorced 3 times, but you was outgrowing your people of life, does that mean you're a bad person? You don't deserve love? You don't deserve an opportunity? It all depends on the scenarios. And do we trust the scenarios that the people are saying? Because it's not like we're going to go to the exes and say, so, it's funny. Sometimes I wish relationships was like getting a job.
You know
You're
what?
like, I need
Like,
a resume.
yeah, you need a resume. I need to hear from your resume references and everything. But here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not that, a person that has been like divorced and married and divorced multiple times is not deserving of love. My thing
Mm-hmm.
is, why, how much time are you giving yourself between those relationships? That's my thing. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
for me, like when I was with my son's father and, not being with him, I did not jump into anything right away after that because I was still processing and dealing with what that was. And I didn't want to put that on anybody else or have any preconceived notions or thoughts about how another person is. I wanted to like kind of like get rid of that stuff. I don't want to have the thought like, oh, my ex used to do that. I don't want to come to anybody like that, because I feel
Mhm.
like when you focus on stuff like that, you tend to attract the same type of thing when you don't learn from the past relationship or the pattern. You end up
Mhm.
falling into patterns. And I know I didn't want to fall into a pattern, but I
Mhm.
know I do also understand that not a lot of people are willing to take that time out for themselves and just reevaluate, like, okay, are these my thoughts that I'm having here?
Mhm.
Um, are these my habits? Are these my words that are coming out of my mouth? I just wanted to kind of differentiate the two, went through, my little sabbatical from, like taking on another relationship and stuff. And plus, for me, I kind of, I don't want, also didn't want my son to see me around a bunch of people either, I don't
Mhm.
think, for me, I don't think women should do that. Let have for their kids to, well, rather anybody, but that's just
Anybody,
really,
yeah.
that's just not a good thing for your kids to see you in a bunch of relationships. But that's my opinion. Let
I
me know
just
if I'm
those
wrong.
things are duplicatable. That's why. That the kids are just watching. They're like just living recorders, and they just watch everything. So they see you doing it, they do it. Um, and I agree with you. I the same thing with my kid, my oldest daughter. I didn't really have her around anybody I was dating, and after my experience with her father, I didn't want to be around people in the first place. So like
Yeah.
that shit was
And
a
then not
trip.
only that, you know what's real scary out here, but this will probably could be another show topic down the line. There's motherfucking predators out there that want to be around women who have children so they can molest them. So
Shit,
like
it goes both ways. I heard horror
it
stories of shit,
oh
man.
yeah, there are women predators out there too. Oh, disgusting
Bad.
bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all need to get
So
the same treatment like these child molesting men too. Nasty asses. But anyway, let's grab this comment here.
Let your husband grab the fupa. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm just playing. But yeah. Shit, y'all be violating us though. Y'all be grabbing our ass. We be hella violated.
I don't do it to him in public. I don't do that to him in public. I keep my hands to myself. Out of respect.
Aw.
Out of
Aw.
respect. We do it to each other. We don't even hold hands. We don't like holding hands. The moisture build up between two hands. It bothers the both of us. So blessed to have found somebody who feels the same way.
Y'all are hilarious.
Yeah.
But Lo, executive brought up a good point about people getting divorced over the dumbest things.
Hmm.
What were those stats, those the reasonings that that you found on the top
Well, I
reasons
went
that
to
people.
I went to a simple source, marriage.com.
Oh.
And yeah, simple, right? Marriage.com.
Yeah.
And it basically went through a 10 reasons why people get divorced.
All right.
Should I start from the bottom and work my way up? I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Start.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do
Start.
that. Okay. So the one that should have been the number one reason people should get divorced: physical and emotional abuse. That should have
Mm.
been number one. That's how
Yeah.
much people try to avoid looking at red flags, that they will just sit through that shit and get their ass beat or emotionally abused because they just did not, the red flags does not say, hey, we should leave and get a
You know the
divorce.
the funny part about that, during this pandemic, um, there was a lot of people, a lot of police calls due to like domestic violence and stuff.
Yeah, because they're sitting in the house together. They normally go to work and they don't have to deal with each other 8 hours of the day. And now they're
I
with
can't
each other all the
imagine.
time, just
I just
slapping
can't
and hitting each other.
imagine. Fuck that
Yeah.
shit. I don't know. I can't be with anybody that I want to fucking fight. That's just crazy to me. Like, and like,
Every
why
time
the
you
fuck
see their face, you want to punch it.
like you want to fight? Like,
I'm
what
like,
kind of
that
bullshit
bitch.
is that?
No, no,
So
I
that was
don't need
number
that kind of
10.
drama.
Wow,
That
that's
was
crazy.
10. It should have been one.
I
Number
feel, yeah,
one
I feel
reason,
that
but
could
it
at least
wasn't.
been in the top 5.
Yeah, 9, not being prepared for marriage.
Yeah, I would, just like a couple episodes ago, I know we was talking about the chick that wanted a freaking, what was it, half a $250,000 wedding and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
that lady, right? And her
yeah,
the guy that she was gonna marry says he's not doing it.
yeah,
And
because
then
he was
she
like, we
said,
can use
"Oh, so
that
you
to
don't want to get
invest.
married?" Yeah.
No, I do want to get married, but we can use that money to invest. So maybe
Mhm.
that's why a lot of people are not prepared because they so focused on having
The
this
dumbest shit.
lavish wedding to impress motherfuckers that probably ain't happy for them in the first place.
Mhm. Or probably slept
There's
with him in the
yeah,
past.
there's nothing wrong with a fucking city hall ass wedding, or better yet, nothing wrong with just drawing up a contract between you two. You don't got to bring the state involved. So.
Where yeah, see, that one is new information to me because I know they like to make a big deal about stuff. But that's cool. If you can draw up
Yeah.
your own contract and then put some blood on it and then get tattoos
Hey,
reminding you of your marriage.
sounds good to me. Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay.
Number 8.
All right. Number 8, lack of equality. Somebody's doing more than the other and it pisses the other person off.
So, what would be like an example of that lack of
I don't
equality?
know. I
Like,
know basically they say that women are the ones that be initiating the divorce, and lack of equality is one of the issues they had, and it's because maybe they're taking care of the children more while the husband is doing whatever the hell he wants, continuing his life with no disruptions while she's maybe she stopped doing things because she has to take care of the kids now. So, some things might be as simple as getting up to go get the baby when it cries in the middle of the night, and they're tired of being the only one getting up while the other person gets to sleep. Sleep is important to people, so it can make you very cranky when you don't get sleep. So a lot of people will divorce because they're the only ones doing the duties. They're usually centered around kids, I believe, when it comes to those lack of equality situations.
hmm, I don't know how to feel about that or have an opinion on that. I mean,
Well,
I do have
it causes resentment. Resentment is
I mean, I
the
do have an opinion. I know when, my son would cry at night when he was a newborn, I would just put him on my titty and just put him back to sleep. So that was,
mhm
but I understand there's a lot of women that don't breastfeed, for whatever reasons. But
mhm. I did the same thing. All 3 of my kids, they all
yeah, like,
laid
oh,
in the
you
bed with
crying?
me.
Here you go. Go
Yep,
back to sleep. And that's it.
yep.
Like,
I took my naps breastfeeding
yeah.
each and every one of them.
So it's like lack of equality, right? My thing is like,
Mhm.
okay, are both of y'all working? Is your man the only one working? And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody's is a case by case basis. So I
I
guess we'll
think
just
that's
leave.
where the communication comes along, like who's going to do what, like before they get married and they just like girlfriend and boyfriend, and they talk about, well, one day I want to marry you, what do you want to do? Remember I told you me and my husband talked about who's doing homework and who's cooking. He took the role as the cook, I took the role as the person that would be doing homework with our imaginary kids because we didn't have kids at that time. So basically we talked about these things. So when the job came up to get it done, you know he's
And that
cooking,
makes sense.
I'm taking care of the kids and making
That
sure
makes
that their
sense.
homework is done.
Set
He would literally yell at
expectations
all of them. Yeah, exactly, set the expectation so
so there's
then
no disappointments.
exactly,
All right, I could
because
dig
my
that.
husband will yell at both of my kids and tell them to get your homework out, your mother's on her way home from work. I don't want to hear her. I don't want her being upset. I don't want her angry. She's tired. Get your homework out. Get it ready to go. And when I come in the door, the homework's on the table. I'm looking through the homework. I'm saying, okay, why did you answer it this way? Blah, blah, this and that. This is wrong. It's over. By the time 6 o'clock comes, everybody's eating because the homework is gone.
Yeah.
So he prepares him. He tells them to get that stuff on the table, and get ready to go so your mother
That's
can look
dope.
over it.
And that's
Yeah,
good. And while you doing that, he'll have dinner being prepared. Okay.
that's
So
how it
yeah,
works
that
every time I come home. And if there's no dinner prepared, he's ordered something. So, because I will go a whole day without eating because I can get stuck in something and forget I exist. And yeah, everyone will starve. It's not like I don't care about nobody. That's just what I've been doing. I did that since I was a kid. I just be drawing all night into the morning. I'll do a project into the morning. I wouldn't eat and I'll get up and I'm shaking because I've never eaten the whole time. So, I'm blessed
mm,
to have my husband do all the cooking and tell me and remind me to eat because I'll forget.
well, that's good. See, that's dope. That's
Hmm.
how it should be. So where we at
Yeah.
now? Number
Okay. So the next one is lack of intimacy, lack of sex,
I remember
lack of hugging,
somebody had this
cuddling.
conversation. Somebody asked this question like, would you marry somebody whose sex drive does not match yours, or who has a low sex drive? I mean, I would say no.
The thing is, how would you know?
You wouldn't. But
That's the
it's
reason
like,
why I don't judge people who have intimate relationships prior to marriage, because the last thing you want to do is be married to somebody who does not match you, and then you're miserable whether you're doing too much or doing too little. You know, I remember I was watching this divorce court. This lady was like, "He does all this to me and that," and and people were like, "Whoa." Like that sounds like a
what, the
good thing.
late
It's
the
like,
no, was the guy that was eating potato salad off his mom, that guy?
off his wife, yeah.
Off his wife?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing all these kinky stuff, and she's just like, he's just too much. He's just too much. I can't handle it. And she really wanted a divorce. You can't judge her for that. She ain't. She's like, I don't do that up the butt stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
know
that's
what I
why that
mean?
you got to have that established beforehand, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so next one is unrealistic expectations, like a
Mm,
$500,000 wedding,
fuck out of here.
or
That,
expecting your wife to take care of all the kids that popped out of her body. I know somebody who person that has 5 kids and told his wife that she's not a good mother because she can't handle all 5 of the kids. I'm like, wouldn't that make you not a good father either? 'Cause, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, y'all did this together. It's not like she did it by herself, you know? So that unrealistic expectation of what another person should be doing can definitely throw a marriage off, I believe.
that's why there needs to be that outline, that business plan, that marriage plan before you even get involved in it. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I'm not having all these kids. I'm like, you don't want to have 11 kids with me? Well, that's just not good. Or the expectation that, that person wants kids when they already told you at the dinner table when you're on that date that they didn't want kids, and then you're like, but she's so beautiful, right? I want to marry her so she can have my kids, but she already told you I don't want kids, and then you're wondering why she's still wearing her IUD, or that's because I don't want no kids, and
I
I
mean,
told
well,
you that the first day we met. And now they're married and he ain't got no kids, or vice versa, and they're miserable because they don't hear the pitter patter of little feet in the background or
I
crying
think, yeah,
babies.
I mean that I feel like that's foolish to marry someone that you know they don't want to have kids, but you want to have kids. That there's just some things that you have to decide you're just gonna walk away from. You know,
Yeah, because
that's
you're
gonna
you're
cause
setting
more
you're already
stress.
setting it up for failure because
Yeah,
you're expecting something that somebody already told you they ain't giving you.
yeah,
You know,
that's just weird. That thinking, oh, maybe they'll change. No, if
no,
somebody tells you they don't want to have kids,
or
believe
whatever
them
the
and just
hell.
move on.
Believe them. Yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, so that was number 6. Number 5, weight gain.
Well,
Yeah, there's
people
plenty of
people
marriages that fail just because of somebody changed in the relationship.
Yeah, you know, people are,
Believe me, first of all, if you like that person and they start gaining weight, you won't even fucking notice it until it's gone too far. First of all, you
yeah,
won't even
gone
notice
too.
it because you like them. You like them. And if they've gone too far, you would be the one to say, hey, you've gained a little weight. But
Look, we
to,
are not
you
being
know,
on my 600-pound life.
yeah. So I think, the weight gain should be expected. As you age, your body doesn't shed the pounds as easily as it did when y'all were in your 20s. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't even think I gained any weight shit until I hit my 30s. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that can go with unrealistic expectations too, expecting somebody that weight gain and thinking somebody's not going to gain weight throughout the years. That's unrealistic. You're looking
yeah.
at them as some, a doll, yeah, that is never going to change.
Like
you
you
know
changed.
I'm like, I had no choice, I got old. Like,
Collagen
so I think,
decreases, muscle,
yeah.
you lose muscle, 10% muscle after 30
Hmm.
for women
Yeah.
every year. So,
Gray hair.
you get comfortable. A lot of people get comfortable and,
Exactly.
indulge.
Hmm. So, weight gain is inevitable. I just think people think, oh, well, you can just go to the gym and it'll all change. I'm like, weight gain happens for so many reasons besides the fact that somebody didn't go to the gym. You know,
Very true.
you know, thyroid malfunctioning and don't want to work anymore. It doesn't send signals to the brain to burn calories and fat and shit like that. There's so many things that could be happening to the human body.
Yeah,
So to expect miracles, and
endocrine
if you had
system
3 kids,
disrupted. Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you had 3 kids, and you got a fupa, it could be because your abdominal walls have been stretched the fuck out and have not been, have not healed back to its normal state. So even though she's exercising like a nut, she probably hasn't healed. That area hasn't healed and strengthened, and therefore it just looks like she has fat over there, and it's not. It's just female organs that are in that area that are not set in place. You know, so or what's the other one? Fibroids.
Right.
I've known
Yeah.
women to have fibroids that have grown out of control, and you think that they have a baby in their stomach, and it's a fibroid. So there's so many health conditions that create that look of weight gain that
Absolutely.
you know people have to understand that it's not all about just going for a run and exercising, lifting weights, and that they're not committed. Their body has changed, and some things might be irreversible or
Exactly.
require medication. Okay.
Yep.
Constant arguing.
Oh God. Yeah.
If I was arguing with you prior to the relationship, I certainly wouldn't want to be married to you arguing. So I don't know how somebody gets into a relationship with somebody arguing all the time.
Well,
That shit
some
don't.
people
It
are
really doesn't just start up.
honestly, a lot of people are weirdos. That give them a sense of life when they, even if it's
They're
not
bored.
something positive, as long if it's like something negative, it just gives them a sense of being. Like I'm alive, even though this is a negative, toxic situation. I still feel like I'm alive. So,
I guess it's better than going parachuting.
oh God.
Get that heart and the blood pumping. By starting arguments when they can just go jump out of a fucking plane and get that same exhilaration, you know?
That'll be interesting.
I bet you it's that. They're just bored. Some people are just
Need
bored
some
as fuck
spark
and
in
they
their
just
life.
have to argue about everything. So, but that's a person that you can actually spot. So
Yeah,
I think
they'll
that's
usually people like that have red
avoidable.
flags in the beginning. So please
Yeah.
don't ignore
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. If they want to ask and have what's like, what do they call it? It's not arguing. It's, shit. It's always the person that creates arguments that says they're just having a conversation. It's just a
No,
conversation.
your voice is
Like we're
elevated.
arguing. Yeah, we're arguing. We're having a heated discussion about the dumbest shit. You know. Okay, so next one, lack of communication. I think that number three, lack of communication. That's pretty good because
They
some
put that
people
in the
just
right
don't know
place.
how to. Yeah, that's in a good spot. Like no, this. I think it's getting worse and worse and worse as the years have passed, where people just can't fucking express themselves and say something, without trying to avoid it.
I blame social
The
media.
conversation. You think I feel like some people were already about that life prior to social media. They just don't.
Yeah,
They're trying to avoid a conversation. They're trying to avoid the argument that they think is going to
avoidant.
happen. And then by avoiding it, by being not communicating, they created the argument because they never communicated at all, which drives me crazy. I have a little one that doesn't communicate. Like you need to open
That's
your
a
mouth. You're not gonna.
like
You
already
can't
has a
be
block.
upset. Yeah,
A
you can't be
block
upset
party.
because this didn't happen because no one can read your mind, and then walk around angry and no one knows what the reason is. Like you have to communicate so then things can get settled. So
Absolutely.
it leads into the argument, not communicating. All right, trouble with finances, number two.
Yeah, I could definitely believe that when people want $250,000 weddings and everything and want expensive looking rings and everything and want to have weddings to impress people when,
Vacations,
yeah.
lots of vacations. Yeah, taking out that loan to go on a vacation.
I
It
don't know if
doesn't
that's a
help.
good idea.
But
That's not.
I'm
But
not
hey,
a
that's what people
finance
do.
person, but that's what people do.
That's what people like
Or
to do. They like to be in debt.
they'll won't tell you that they did something like went gambling and put the house on um put the house up. You know what I mean? They won't tell you what they did. So then you
I see.
find out last minute when your house is being foreclosed or something like that. I think that happened a lot back in the days. A lot of women were married to men who handled all the finances and they were the ones working. And then, because the women weren't involved in that conversation, they were home taking care of the kids, shit like that would happen to them. And that's why women started putting their money aside, rainy day money,
That's
you know?
whack. Like just whack as
Yeah.
far as somebody would make a decision like that to put the house up, or
Mm-hmm.
have a gambling problem. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
stuff to
Yeah.
look out for.
Yeah. And
And
then the
then
last one,
number
oh, you want to
one.
continue? Number one,
Yeah.
infidelity,
Hey,
extramarital affairs.
that makes
And
sense.
mind you, they said that divorces, men are the more likely to cheat than women. 20% of men cheat in their marriage compared to 13% of women. And
Hmm.
not 70% of women initiate the divorce. So it's basically the woman that creates the divorce. It's the man that
Well,
creates the marriage. They the
I
ones that
think
want to get married again. It's the women that divorce.
I think I think in our I think in this society they make it way too easy for people to get divorced and everything. Like it's a big
Hmm.
business. What was
Yeah,
the numbers? The average was like
11
15,
billion dollar, 11
11
billion
billion
dollar
dollar
business.
fucking
Divorce is
industry.
That's the industry. $11 billion. So people are counting on you to put money in their pocket to be the statistic.
Wow.
Yep,
Mm.
yep. 600,000 Americans get divorced each year. They
So I
said
think
it's
we're being played in
decreasing.
this country.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
being played. They put all this stuff out there. Or it's like, oh, you
Hmm.
don't need to deal with that. You could go get divorced, get alimony, get child support, get the house and everything if he just do one thing wrong to make you mad. But
Hmm.
I don't think it's like that in other countries. I don't I'm where it's just so easy to get divorced cuz I even seen a video earlier where they were saying, American women in general are not should not be candidates for, marriage in general. But, that's just I just think that's just the demons that they made over here. With $11 billion, the whole goal of this country is to have money moving and circulating around. So what
Mm-hmm.
better way to do that than to play on people's emotions?
Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be
If
with
it
him if
means
he
that,
doesn't make such and such amount of money, if he doesn't do this, if he don't have this car. And you shouldn't be with her if she can't lose weight after giving birth to her baby after a month. You know what I mean? Like, you should divorce her because she
oh, you
clearly
shouldn't
ain't
be with
woman
her.
enough.
Oh, you shouldn't be with her because she's not submissive enough for you. You
Yeah,
deserve to have a
exactly.
woman to be totally, that
Yeah, walking
this
on all fours, getting
all the
everything you want.
pandering and stuff.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. So I think they're those comments definitely are like earwigs, just sitting inside people's minds, telling them how things should be, and then they go, this is how it should be, and my husband should do this and make this, and if he doesn't do this or if he loses his job, I'm not going to support him. I'm just going to leave him because he's supposed to have a job. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's standing by their man. No one's standing by their woman after she's gone through the things that she's gone through. They're just willing to give up on you and find another one who will do the same thing because it's human. Things
yes,
happen.
that for better or for worse goes in one ear and out the other.
Exactly.
But man, it is.
Exactly.
Whew, we had some good comments. We had some great participation. Touched on
Yeah, we
some very good
appreciate it.
points. So man, we
Yeah.
are at 9:02, a little over our time here. But the biggest thing is, I think if there's any takeaways that I just want to impress upon people, if you're married once, give yourself time between the next marriage if you are going to do that. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
think about your children's feelings if there's children involved, because there's just no way that they should have to deal with that type of trauma you going through each marriage and each divorce.
Mm-hmm.
um Kind of have, just like what Azima was mentioning, have some type of guidelines before you get into that marriage. Have like a marriage plan and set the expectations so that no one is out there in the dark when this happens. And
Yeah.
judging by just viewing other people's relationships, the marriage ain't just gonna work just because you're married. There's gonna
No,
be
it's work.
some, yeah, it is work.
Hard work.
Oh man.
Hard work with a hard R. Hard work. It's
All
not
right,
easy.
so
Don't think it's easy. It's work. Just like going
work
to
is
work.
never easy.
Everything. Nope.
Work is never easy. But man,
Mm-mm.
so before we close out, we'll definitely be here again next week for our episode 20. Azima, where can
Woo!
everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Azima, Azima, the only. And you can find me on Facebook and YouTube as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Joe?
So yeah, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And also, y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel for the Wine Fine Podcast. Trip on older episodes, and that's WINEFINE. Tap in. All right.
Okay.
So, just thank you everybody for taking the time to listen to us yap. It's greatly appreciated. I hope we were
Yes.
able to give some jewels and some mind gems and just some things to think about for the future if you decide to go that route of the M word
Jump the
and
broom.
jump the broom. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Or horses.
I honestly, I never jumped the broom in the whole process. I haven't jumped over a broom yet.
Hey,
Okay. That's all I got to
it is
say.
what it is.
I
It
don't
is
know where
what
the
it is.
saying came from. All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night. Thanks so much for tuning in. Y'all have a good night
All
and see y'all
right.
next week.
Bye.
Peace.